que de faire? Good afternoon, everyone. I am here with the only other person in America that has more technical difficulties than me, Alan Pajama Pants.
Yeah, that's true. That's a true statement.
Mr. Brandon and Mr. Steven are with me also. We have a full house, and I definitely remembered that everyone was showing up today and did not have to be reminded of this at all.
Oh, come on.
Also,
you needing a reminder, Brad?
all right, here's the thing, guys. I'm really disappointed with just one of us, and his name rhymes with Stephen Crowley. We got the Brown Nighter, we've got two people with Magnus up, and then we've got one guy that's still got Knights as his background.
It's a chaos.
I'm not even mad, bro. I'm just disappointed.
It's okay. Just like Magnus, I did nothing wrong.
Just like Magnus, his dad's disappointed.
Listen. You guys are representing that. I'm representing the 25% of knights that you're going to bring in with your army so that you have a Chaos Knight for all that DACA.
All right. You guys want to talk some Thousand Suns? Because I actually think some of their cabals are pretty bonkers town.
Let's do it.
Bonkers.
I think they're great.
I do.
Absolutely.
So we've got their army rule, just cabal sorcerers. You can effectively just use rituals. So, and rituals cost a certain amount of cabal points. You get 2 cabal points per brother sorcerer unit in your army, and the cabals are pretty boss mode. Should we start with like the Grand Slam and then work down to the ones that you're going to take all the time?
Well,
How are you getting them exactly? Is it just sorcerers getting them? Is it units also? Like how many cabals are we getting? It's
literally, if your army faction Thousand Suns, every time that you're any model that has the Thousand Suns at the end of your command phase, each model from your army with this ability, which is Thousand Suns. Anything that has the Thousand Suns moniker, 2 cabal points.
But it's going to be like a sergeant because it says model, right?
It's a sergeant. It's a
going to be
model.
okay.
Yeah.
Currently, it's the sergeant, the demon prince, and the other characters.
Okay, so there'll be like a veteran sergeant. That person's getting the ability. So like Zangors probably won't get it.
Everybody's dust.
Yeah.
You remember Aramon's whoopsie when he gave Magnus the "my bad, yo. I was trying to get away from the mutations and shit happened. I'll be somewhere else. Take it easy." So yes, the only the sorcerers basically are not old dusty inside. So
how many cabal points are we getting in a game roughly?
Right now, they generate a little bit different because it's not just flat across. And we'll see if we get more people that aren't the exact same. But right now, people are bringing somewhere between 16 and 18. You got to figure that if you're getting 2 per squad, and you bring 4 or 5 squads of Rubric Marines, and then you've got multiple characters, you're already sitting in double digits automatically.
So we're guesstimating about 16 to 20?
I would say 16 to 20, and you're going to bring enough because some of these are nuts. You know what? I'm going all in. Screw you guys.
Let's do it.
I'm not waiting. We're starting with the Zert. Twist of Fate. Yeah, I'm going to spend...
No. You can't start with the best.
I just said I'm starting with the Zert.
But that's the
I'm
best
starting with dessert. I'm going to the top. I've reached the pyramid of self-actualization, and I was sitting at the top. I know everything about me.
He just wants to have an Oprah moment where he's like, "You get no armor saves. You get no armor saves."
Exactly.
This psychic power is ridiculous.
I was literally reading through this, and I was like, "Oh man, that's a lot of." Well, you know what? Fuck it. I'll go back to the beginning because Crawley's the end of fun.
I am.
So, re-rolling saving throws for a model. Pretty big. You throw it on a character who's got an invuln, badass. You can warp time. I refuse to call it temporal surge. It was warp time for fucking 83 editions. It's still
but no charge, right? There's
no charge.
No charge.
No
Yeah,
charge.
Yeah, just do it.
But it's like board presence, right?
Yep.
It's like really good board
But
presence.
you can steal that. Objectives, you can move block. It's huge. So, and then using a stratagem, we'll see what the stratagems cost, but getting a stratagem for 0 CP seems legit. We don't know what the strats are yet. And then 7 cabal points, Doom Bolt, up to 6 plus D3 if you roll a 6. That's legit mortal wounds, you know? And then the cherry on the top. Hey, man, remember the time you had armor saves? Well, it's not now. Because boom, 9 cabal points coming in hard. I'm AP4. Enjoy not having models. What?
So you're going to be able to do like 3 of these a turn comfortably.
Yeah. Well, and that's with you. Dude, you can do 3 a turn and use the big one. You know what I mean? So if you just want to do a bunch of little ones, cast Doom Bolt, stuff like that, whew.
You can also do it in the shooting phase and then do it in the fight phase, because our boys with those Kopeshes do some work.
Yeah.
I mean,
The only thing I don't see is like defensive, like a little bit more defensive. I know they got the Weaver of Fates or whatever, the first one.
the reroll.
But
I mean, they've got
I would.
That's only for a model too, so it's not even for a unit. So you're basically
correct.
putting that on characters.
Yeah, you're putting on characters. But I would like to see something a little bit with defense in there. But I like it overall. I think it's really strong, like really, really strong.
I mean, these are pretty boss mode, and the thing is that you're just using these all the time. You can use these whenever the hell you want. So it's
this is going to make precision hits.
Yeah, but think about it though. Ready? Each ritual can only be used once per phase. So let's just use Doom Bolt in every phase. I'm just like, eat mortals, chump. Bam, 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 bam. You know.
Well, this one, Doom Bolt specifically.
Oh, Doom Bolt's a shooting attack, right?
Shooting attack. Sorry,
shooting
Doom Bolt's shooting. I'm saying you can use stuff out of phase. I'm assuming that there's gonna be a strat that says cast something out of phase, but that's just me hoping.
I think the only one that's cast out of phase is the rule book, the one where you get do it for free. That's the only one of these that you can use, I think, in any phase. I think.
No, Weaver of Fate you can use in any phase.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah, that's
because you have to, because you're going to use it in shooting and combat.
Yeah, it's the Echoes of the Warps, the free stratagem, the re-rolling saves for the one model, or the no armor saves can be made. Those
I think Twist of Fate could also be any phase.
This is really high up there with everything else we've seen. I know you guys are for some reason low on World Eaters, which is weird to me.
But, I thought World Eaters were fine.
But I think this mechanic is pretty sick because it's almost automatic. It's not like you have to roll hot. It's not like you have to get lucky. You're not like using other characters to modify things. You're just getting Cabal points by playing your army the way you're going to normally play your army.
100%.
So it's actually really good.
I think you'll actually get more out of it. I really think that you're going to be able to use some of these twice. You know what I mean? Like the Doom Ball. I'm expecting to be able to do stuff. And the thing is that if you look at Twist of Fate, that is also in any phase. So you could literally just drop 18 Cabal points for the turn and just go shooting phase, no saves. Melee fight phase, no saves. That's
just stripping saves away. Yeah,
that's huge, dude.
From perspective, right? When we did our faction reviews, we were just building off of what was like previewed. Had World Eaters shown that they actually still had anti-armor on their fists of chain fisting awesomeness on 8-bound, we would have been all in that they'd be like S because they're going to go into a vehicle meta, right? But right now, like this is an example of exactly what we want to see from Psychic ability, where they're taking cool, fluffy abilities that the army had in Psychic, and they're just like, and you get to do the cool thing that you used to do for free, and it's just an army ability, and that's fantastic.
No, I get.
There's no way to deny it. There's no leadership test. Like it just goes off.
It's just
not that we know of, right? Because we don't know if there's
but
any
these are just really.
thing.
It's just crazy how consistent they are.
Yeah.
I just have a different viewpoint on the meta. I don't think we're going into a vehicle heavy meta. I think it's a fallacy.
I think that if it's going to be small, I think if you're going to be vehicle metal, it's going to be small vehicles. I think that if depending on if speeders and stuff like that are costed up basically the same.
Yeah, points will make an impact on some of the more MSU vehicles, but this idea of like, oh, vehicles are toughness 12, toughness 14, and you're like, oh, that's where we're going, and then you look at all these reveals and all these armies, and everyone can wound things on 6s to hit. Volume of dice of 6s to hit
and
is gross.
Devastating wounds.
Stupid. Yeah,
so many mortals.
So big.
Yeah.
So big.
So let's move on. Let's talk about the detachment rule, guys.
The detachment rule is pretty badass. So, Kindred Sorcery, you choose one of 3 abilities in the command phase. You literally either get lethal hits, sustained hit, basically exploding hits, auto wounding on 6s, or mortals from your psychic weapons. And that's badass. Also, anything that says devastating wounds is what I'm taking, to be honest. So, mortal wounds is such a big deal. It's just such a big deal. It's the great equalizer. It's like what you're talking about, which is why I don't think it might be all tanks, because I'm just going to build armies that maximize my devastating wounds, and a ton of their stuff looks to be psychic. You know what I mean? When you're looking at the characters and stuff like that, they've got pretty much a bunch of their guns are psychic. So, I mean, that's just nice. The Sergeant with Warp Smite. There's
Devastating Wounds is harsh though because it's on a 6 to wound.
True, but you've got multiple people that are now getting anti-infantry, anti-vehicle.
Yeah.
Or they're getting every 4 onto wound is counting as mortal, and it's mortals the damage of your weapon, not just you add a mortal. It's like, hey, do I have a damage 3 weapon, damage 5 weapon, damage whatever? Boom, I'm getting that many mortals. That's legit.
Yeah.
So, Brad, I think it depends on the target, what you're actually shooting at. So, like,
100%.
let's say there's like one Imperial Knight just standing out in the open. I would 100% take the lethal hits and then shut up and save.
Agreed, because then you just put it on. And I love this because you can literally adapt to whatever's going on. This makes this a very versatile army.
Mm-hmm.
So I just think that's super strong on that.
Now, do we think the Thousand Suns keywords can apply to all the Zangors and the mutant?
I don't think it's going to be Zangors.
Probably not. But they might have other abilities, but probably not them. But I don't know. I don't know. Like, I don't know what their role is in the list yet until we get the index. Like, it's really strong though. Like this combination of the army ability of picking these traits plus the Cabal points, like, really good. Well, dude, very like toolboxy.
You want to talk about who's toolboxy? Let's go to one of the guys that's got one of the best books in all of 40K. Three book series. If you didn't like Aramon's series, you probably don't like Sunshine and Puppies. But also
Is that Garrett we're talking about?
Aramon. Aramon is Cabal of Sorcerers 3. Oh yeah, when he leads a unit, oh yeah, just be +1 to wound. Whatever they do. Just makes an attack, not a shooting attack. It's any attack. So the whole unit, all their melee attacks, all their shooting attacks, +1 to wound. That's gigantic.
And look at him using a ritual.
Yeah.
On top of that.
Oh yeah.
Add the two together.
I'd like you to not have saves. Oh cool. Instead of 9, I think that's going to be 0. That seems like a legit discount. Hey man, would you like to be 9 Cabal points? More than half probably of my Cabal points, or here's my offer, 0. I'm a negotiator.
Very impressive.
Well, and his ability also to select once per battle to make one of your rituals free is freaking fantastic. Like, absolutely.
That's what I'm saying. He just takes a 9 CP.
9 goes to 0. Yeah,
exactly.
It's like, okay,
well,
that's pretty nuts.
Considering you can also save it to late game to the point where usually when you're playing Thousand Suns now, you start suffering attrition. You can't do multiple things on like your power turn on 3 because they try to target your rubrics. Now having the ability to just still turn that into a power turn, even if you're on the back foot, is fantastic.
The thing is, KR did make a good point on this, Brandon. He goes, the Custodes, Sisters of Silence had the Custodes keyword, so Zangors might get it also.
I would think so, because they specifically mentioned the Zangor Shaman being an individual who can use the Thousand Suns army rules to cast psychic powers.
I mean, I think Aramon's going to be badass. Not only the ritual thing's amazing, he's getting an extra Cabal point, and he's just whatever unit he's with is getting +1 to wound. For him just being there, that's legit, you know. So
I think he might come at a premium, but I think he's going to be worth it. Depending on how many points he is, I think he'll be worth it just for those 2 things. Like, they're so good.
And here's the thing that's like a good combo on this. So let's go down and talk about those rubrics. So the rubrics have a couple cool abilities. One, their war gear ability, the Icon of Flame. Every time they get a critical wound, they improve that AP, which is pretty boss mode. You get different things. Does lethal hits work with that then, or just the wound on it? I'm just looking at combinations.
I'm trying to remember lethal hits' wording because we've seen it before.
It's on a 6 to hit. You automatically wound.
Yeah, but I'm saying, does it count as a critical wound?
Yeah, no, it's just that you wound.
Yeah,
successfully.
Because then you won't do it. You won't double up on this and devastating wounds, because devastating wounds is in place of, you know, the damage. So, but I do like just rerolling wounds of 1. We've seen this in a couple different things now, that they just get this built in, which is pretty cool.
So just taking a step back, if we're looking back at Kindred Sorcery, it specifically mentions psychic weapons, and there's only like 2. There's the Warp Smite,
which is basically the smite coming from the sorcerer, which is anti-infantry 4, devastating wounds, pistol, psychic. Yeah, I mean it's the replacement for that. It's literally smite. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but this is also like a tactical squad. This is a Rubric Marine squad.
Right.
So I'm not really looking for damage output in this unit. I'm looking for a little bit here and there, but these are more of your troops holding objectives.
I'm not going to lie, the devastating wounds on I wonder if they can devastating wounds stack at all? I need to know this. Because if something has the devastating wounds keyword and then you also give it devastating wounds on hits, do you double up?
No.
don't think
Doubtful.
so.
No, doubtful.
But I mean, even considering it, right? So arm and staff is psychic, right? So that's super positive. I think that you're also going to you have the warp strike that comes off of the unit itself, which is basically their smite, or warp smite. I think you'll also, I mean, this is reaching a little bit, but we know that the character, their equivalent of a chaplain, has really cool buffs that he gives out. I wonder if he has like the ability to make their weapons count as being psychic in that unit, which would be
There's probably
really
a strat.
cool.
I'm assuming there'll be a strat where like the unit just counts their infernal bolt guns as psychic that turn. Maybe that could be possible.
Yeah.
But I mean, there's definitely going to be some like a unit in the game that's doing more of the damage, and I'm envisioning that unit. It's all psychic shooting. It's all psychic close combat, and Armand joins that squad, and then it's like, okay, this is the unit in the Thousand Suns army. The rest is playing board. And like still doing a lot of damage. These guys do damage. Like they're not like a pushover, but like you're not like looking at them solely as the benefactor of that Cabal ritual. So
And the other thing we've seen consistently out of Thousand Suns is like AdMech, they're very consistent edition after edition about layering buffs and doing a lot of effective things and having a like almost a Rube Goldberg machine of getting to the point where you're able to do a lot of awesome things together. And I think that that's why we don't see many characters in the preview, because they want to show them raw power rather than I stack these three things.
correct, yeah, of course, yeah. But what I'm getting out of this preview is this very toolboxy army. So and I think this has been true for previous editions, but Thousand Suns are going to be one of those armies where you play a really good player playing Thousand Suns with reps and experience. It's a whole different
It's
experience
not even the same thing.
than playing like a guy who picked up Thousand Suns recently, or this is his first edition or something like that. This is going to be a skill-based army.
You also get
100%.
Once you have a couple things with psychic, I think that the squad has a period. Because let's just drop down to the strat. Because
We're skipping the warp vortex. This is my favorite part.
we're going back to him. He looks cool and he's probably going to be stupid, but
He's amazing.
a thousand.
Are you the
Thousand-
anti-Grey Knight strat?
Yeah,
Dude, he's so sick.
dude.
This is the anti-grade.
No, it's 1,000 Suns unit from your army that was selected as target or one or more of the unit's attacks. Until the end of the phase, all attacks made against your unit with psychic weapons have the hazardous ability, and all models you
Think
unit
about
feel no
Brad,
pain.
think about this at a team event, and you
Yes.
pair Thousand Suns into Thousand Suns.
1,000 Suns and Grey Knights, and you just go, hey man, hope you don't roll ones because you're about to take all of the mortals.
Scary.
That is the most, if it happens, shit's gonna go down strat. But man, that's hilarious.
So it
It's
just
so-
depends on
it's
how
so
prevalent psychic weapons are.
True.
I mean, we've seen demons; they have a lot of psychic weapons. Tyranids have a
They're-
lot of
well,
psychic weapons.
demons have only psychic weapons for their shooting.
Demons have
all
only, yeah.
of their
Like,
shooting
yeah.
is psychic.
So, like against demons, is
Yes,
fantastic.
he gets a keeper's secrets would literally shoot at your unit. You pop this strat, and the keeper would instantly kill itself. It's like, like what happened?
I think it takes 3 wounds if it
It
fails
takes
the test.
3. That's it. It's per model.
It's
So you
just
have to fail multiple times.
yeah. Oh, they'll fail. They got 18 shots. Well, they'll fail.
No. It's when
It's per.
Oh, it's just
one
per.
model fires any number of hazardous weapons. It's 1 check per model.
Is it? I thought it was 1 check per weapon.
No, it's per model.
Oh, that's
It is the
lame.
model that's removed when it does the failure.
Yeah. But he's got.
So you only do it, but you can kill a lot of horrors.
Yeah.
But that's why I love. That's why I love the Thousand Suns versus Thousand Suns, because you're like trying to get Cabal points, so you have all these sergeants. But if the sergeants use Warp Flame or something, or they're using their power, and the model makes a test and it dies, now you're not getting Cabal points. So it's like back and forth. So it's kind of
also,
funny.
and you might not do anything because now it has a 4-up feel no pain against the attack too.
Correct. Yeah, you might not even you might choose to just forego most of your stuff. It just becomes a totally different game. You're like, all right, I'm not using any psychic weapons at all, and I'm gonna play it normally.
Yeah.
Are Grey Knights the same as Thousand Suns in that the sergeant is the caster, and if they lose the sergeant, they lose the casting
No,
ability?
No.
so Grey Knights are the whole squad.
Oh, they have Brotherhood of Psychers.
Yeah, they can cast on. They basically choose a model that they're casting
Like
off.
any dude can do it.
It's-
I think they used to be a long time ago, like in 5th, where the sergeant was the one.
The Judicar, yeah.
Yeah, the
Sand
Judicar,
zombies
yeah,
go
yeah.
per, man. Sand zombies.
I remember
We didn't
fighting
see-
those guys with Cleansing Flame, and like as an orc player, you'd like challenge the
You're
sergeant.
welcome.
Yeah, you'd like I challenge the sergeant, and he's like, no, he's not fighting. He's gonna go hide in the back
Yeah,
because I need to cast flame.
because I need to cast cleansing flame and kill your army and leak it in. What happened? I don't know. Shit went down.
And even if you don't kill the model with with the hazardous ability, you still just get a blanket feel no pain.
Yeah. So you might not even choose to shoot. Yeah, exactly. It's super funny. It's super funny. 1,000 Suns for 1,000 Suns is hilarious.
All
Just
right.
against psychic attacks, not all attacks.
Just against psychic attacks.
Let's
correct.
talk about Alan's go-to. That weird
one in
kid.
three of these.
That weird
One in
kid. That
three of
weird
these.
kid on the block. The Warp Vortex Beast. I know you're probably thinking to yourself, I wonder what it looks like, because I sure as hell haven't seen these fuckers on the board. So
They're in Sigmar.
That's a true story. I don't think I've ever seen one of these painted in 40K.
Well, get ready. I'm going to be bringing them to a town near you.
They've been historically sold out for the last 5 years.
I'm not using that crappy model. I'm going to use a different model, but it'll look similar-ish. Not
it's
really.
similar. I was just about to say it's
You're
going to
just
be.
explaining the principle I just said. I've never seen one of these models painted for 40K.
Man, I'm so excited for this thing because it's such a toolbox.
It's such a toolbox. It looks so fun.
Dude,
it looks so
also,
fun.
How,
And
it's
could
got
you?
a
Are you
24
going to be able to put the? Are you going to be able to put Weaver of Fate on this thing?
If it's a 1,000 Suns model, I would
Yes,
assume so.
It will be. It will be a 1,000 Sun model. Yeah.
I mean, it's
Oh
legit,
my gosh,
dude.
I think it's
Imagine if you get now. They have the beam rule, so holy shit! If you have too many units caught under that beam,
That doesn't exist anymore, Brett.
oh man,
the keyword doesn't. Yeah, the keyword is not beam. It's just a beam type.
Yeah, no, it's just a beam. It's just blast beam.
So it's just
torrent.
one
You've been playing
attack?
40K.
No.
You've
It's
been
just
playing
one
40K too long, buddy.
Yeah.
I got so excited to think about a 24-inch beam just dropping 6 plus D6 damage on everybody. Hey, looks like you lined all your units up. Woohoo!
Brad's
Everyone
over
is
here.
dead. What's the range? -4. What's the strength? 18.
Oh, also, that unit over there doesn't have saves.
So cool. I love this thing. Blast, beam, and torrent. So gross. Such a toolbox.
That 2d6 torrent with no saves is just gonna mulch infantry.
Well, that 2d6 torrent could shoot you in your turn. Get ready. Get ready, brother.
Oh gosh.
Did you get too close?
Overwatch.
You're gonna charge me? It'd be a shame if I was. Okay, wait, does it say can Weaver can be any phase, bro. It's on your movement
Any
phase.
phase, bro.
Armin says, "Hey man, turn on the beam."
Dude, no, you know what's gonna be the fucked up is with a torrent, you just you overwatch it, you just run it into the middle of your opponent's army and go, yeah, I'm gonna die in a minute, but feel free, somebody move. Oh yeah.
I want to look it up real quick to see if this thing is today considered a demon or not. Because
I think it is.
it would be amazing if I could also deep strike this thing. Put it in deep strike reserves, wait for you to bring in a reserve unit, and then jump on you with this thing. Oh my god.
Just use the strat period on it. Just walk out and just zoom in and go, all right, I come in, Overwatch.
Well, we have to find out if it has a deep strike keyword or not.
Oh, it's coming out of the Brown Eye, Terry.
Oh, it will be.
It does not currently have the demon, but it does get the great cult keyword, which is fantastic.
Correct. It doesn't currently have demon. I just looked it up too.
I love the story on that, but the fluff on these things is extra weird because shit super went wrong.
Everything went wrong.
Yeah, some things went down. You're Spawn, you didn't quite hit the mark. You didn't really achieve your sales goals, and you got some stuff. Warp Vortex piece, there's a story about what happened. You're dude, it was a bad weekend. Let me tell you.
Oh man, it's gonna be fun though. I as an army release, I know you guys did all your tiers. I don't know where you'd put this. I would put 1,000 Suns.
We haven't ranked them yet. We're gonna rank them today.
Rank them.
I would put them pretty high. Just letting you know. I don't know. I really like this book a lot. I think it looks.
Let's talk about it. What are we ranking it?
The thing is we haven't seen any powerhouse things, so it's hard to rank them super bad. But the thing is that it looks like it's got toolbox for days.
So I agree, Brad. Yeah, I haven't seen. I want to know what the Zangors do. I want to know if they have any kind of screening units or if the cultists have play, or what kind of teleportation aspects do they have to get around the board. I know the movement is really good with the Cabal points. They can move out of sequence in the shooting phase. So yeah, it's really cool. I think based on the reveal, I'm at an A for this army just because I can see a lot of promise. Now, if the index comes out and they're not much more than this, and I don't see, like Brandon mentioned, a unit with the psychic powers that can abuse that Cabal ritual and I don't see a way to screen appropriately or to take board presence in another way, or I don't see a way to get around the board, then I could bring them down to a B. But if I do see some of those things, especially the movement and the ability to abuse those cabals, I'm bringing this up to the S tier. I think they're really strong. Not S plus, just regular S. But I think they're really, really, really good.
I could see putting them in A. They have
I would give them a low A,
so
I
many
think.
shenanigans, dude.
I'm excited for the shenanigans, but I don't know how many psychic weapons they have.
True. It's just there's so much shit going on. Twist of Fate by itself is nuts.
Yeah, that's why they're an A.
You're just like, hey man, I'm just gonna shoot you with a multi damage weapons. Oh yeah, you're not allowed to take saves. Enjoy not having guys. You're like, I buffed up my unit. I got this huge unit of Terminators that has 1+ rerollable save, and yeah, you wound me on 11s. Yeah, cool.
Be a shame if you were just. I honestly think that they're actually higher than an A, and the reason for that is everything that we've seen that is inspiring confidence. The only thing that makes me question it is the detachment rule. And the detachment rule, we're going to get 3 in the index, right? So if the weakest part is that, and that's the modular part, like I think they're going to be stronger because it's not like this is their army rule where they're stuck with picking this ability. There's going to be 2 other abilities to pick from. Right?
Yeah, but we have to see a movement though. Like if we don't see a movement,
but that's
ability,
duplicity consistently, right?
That's what I'm hoping. Yeah, it is. You're right. Correct.
And also, not change. Is it change the one that usually messes with terrain or like does some excellent screwery with making terrain weird and stuff like that?
I can't remember if it's change or not.
I thought it was
Mutation.
Mutation.
Yeah. So like, I think that they're going to be super legit, and I think that the weakest rule that we've seen is the cult, and their Cult of Magic is consistently
this looks nuts, by the way. It's just we're gonna have to see what other damage they can, but just the fact that I can literally just go. And here's the thing: I might actually take a Mutal XP or Warp Vortex Beast because it doubles it doubles the range in your Cabal, so I can literally.
They're amazing.
I can do Twist of Fate at 36 inches, and that's nuts. You're like, hey man, I'm gonna shoot some auto cannons downrange over there, and you're just going to lose a shit ton of guys.
But going back to Crawley's point, this Cult of Magic ability is so good because you could play Thousand Suns anti the perceived norm meta. Like I'm not really worried about vehicle meta because I think that's going to be the majority of people will do that, but like the good players won't. So like, and I'm worried more about that, right? Like you're going to have the vast majority, 85% of people are going to be jumping straight towards like T12 and T10 and T14 vehicles. And we're going to see 3 monoliths and Bane Blades and all kinds of stuff. But like, you could just win those games, right? Like there is ways to win those games. And Thousand Suns might be able to win those games without even really trying hard. You don't have to design an army against it. If you have the ability to get these lethal hits and devastating wounds on top of things that you're also stripping armor saves away from, and you're getting +1 to wound with 1 unit, I mean, it gets really gross. That's like at some point you're like, okay, this is stupid. Like that's really good.
Well, and especially like rubrics are usually consistently you're holding a backline thing, right? So thinking about current missions, them being able to, and then them having Bringers of Change where they're getting +1 to wound or reroll wounds if they're touching an objective is just going to be fantastic with their volume of fire and just dumping.
Let's talk about this though, because with Cabal points, and we were talking about doing, having allies and stuff because we can make 500 points. I would love to see 500 points of knights in this and just start slamming Twisted Fates down on people and just murdering them with knight weapons. And then you have all your other shit. You know what I mean?
Bring that scary ass knight that causes battle shock. I
don't even need to. I just want to take volume. I want to take volume. You literally want to take volume. I want to take double Gatling.
Oh yeah, you could take double
and just Gatling. Go and then go, hey, you know what your save is on that? Pick up your model, yo.
Or double battle cannon, and you just get within 24 inches, and you're like, "Oh, that's a funny unit of Terminator. Shame it doesn't exist anymore."
All right, everybody's telling you, Brandon. They're saying that you're full of shit. It's 1 detachment per army.
I did say that. Steve said that.
Steve,
no, you said when we were doing the other.
You know that I know that you know that you said this.
Yeah.
I was regurgitating what Brandon said. Okay,
exactly. Zeus knows what I'm talking about. Rapid fire battle cannons into Twist of Fate. And look, we're doing the South Park, and your model's gone, and they're gone,
and it's gone.
I don't know what makes it through, but yeah, if there's only 1 detachment, that'll be an interesting point. I still think that this is really solid, especially with the Rubik's getting rerolls to wound, because then you can take advantage of like devastating or lethal pretty effectively.
Dude, you can't take saves. I feel that you're not understanding how bonkers that is.
It's so gross, dude. I don't think you get it.
You use it in I wouldn't even use anything else. I would just go
armor.
Yeah.
So like you're losing saves for free. I don't pay anything. And then I also get +1 to wound.
But if I have 18 cabal points, I'm just doing that twice every, in the fight phase.
You only need
and
9.
The shooting phase.
You only need 9 for that unit. You're good. You're good.
I'm just like, what is even happening there? You're just like,
just remember though, you play custodians and you're gonna have a bad time.
Look,
it doesn't ignore involts, it ignores
not
armor.
Really? Did you see their reveal?
Oh, they were fantastic. I was on for that, but I am so excited for the custodians.
Really? Wow.
Yes.
So would you do the battle cannon or would you do the Gatling cannons?
I would do
because I
whatever
bet the Gatling cannons get sustained or
whatever has
wounds.
enough shots. I just want whatever the hell I can put enough saves on you, because then I can go, hey, take 13 saves, and you don't get them peeling models.
That's gonna be so mean, especially with that being 3 damage too.
Yeah.
Like unless they've got a significant number of storm shields that give them +1 to wound, you're just like that whole unit's dead.
Zoobs just kill. I have to read this one, guys. Sorry. Zoobs goes, but I also like to look at what I think is going to be too broken to survive the first FAQ. Rapid fire battle cannons into Twist of Fate. That seems like it's hooking on the corner for a nerf. Hey,
That's
big
gonna be
boy.
a meme.
I mean, he's not wrong. I mean, that is.
Can someone please dress a Mito Exportec beast up in street gear? So, Corey goes, I'm laughs in quantum shields. But that's a crazy combination. We have to see the rest. We'll also have to see points, because again, if the army's just super expensive, then these are great combos that aren't going to work for very long because you just don't have enough models. But if they're even remotely efficiently costed, holy shit, this is going to be magic.
Have we got anything from GW? I don't know. You guys know better than me on the rumors and stuff and like what's going on. Or I guess the reveals, not rumors, but like what GW's actually revealed around like, will the games have more or less models? Like, are points going to shift to like have less models in them?
It hasn't been stated.
They've done anything with points. And I have to agree with Kara here. Aramon will be target 1 for precision hits and then every other sorcerer. But that's when because I'll be hiding like a little bitch.
And this is why Sisters of Silence are going to be a thing.
And there's going to be, the best is there's going to be one Vortex Beast in my army that legitimately hides because I don't want him to do anything. I just want him to extend the range. Look, man, don't get yourself killed as you're having a weird conversation about life and what you want him to do with this blob of tentacles. Look, Ted, you got to get your shit together. We really need you around for our strategy to work.
And
that model's pretty huge, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, this is a 60. It's on a 60 base.
Yeah, but it's tall.
It's tall as shit. It literally also has tentacles shooting out of everywhere.
It's not that.
The model looks like it's mid-explosion is what it looks like.
It's also consistently had good healing abilities, which are going to be awesome. I mean, right now, I think you can actually, there's a cheeky play that you can do with Magnus and 2 of them and constantly keep on like doing a heal cycle on all 3 models because of them.
I just know I'm gonna have 3 of them. That's all I know.
3 indeed.
Yeah.
3.
First Seraphim, and then we start working on these warp.
I feel like you have like a lot of grand plans. This is coming from the guy that messaged me at 8:18 and said, "Welp, I'm about to start making your Wolves army, Alan, for tomorrow morning." Yes, you live in Chicago. You're coming to a tournament in Toledo. I should be fine.
Did you have an army or not?
I did have an army.
Did you win the tournament? Did you win the tournament?
With that army, yes.
Did I also give you?
Did you
Did I also
any of the
give you
models?
my winnings? Did I also give you my winnings?
I gave him to Brandon to do what he did.
To do what he did.
Yep. It was a chain that ran down. Good times.
Yeah, Corey's saying it's as big as a kill ring. That thing is massive.
Yeah.
I think you might be hard pressed to hide it. That's all I'm saying.
So
They are
I might
big
say,
kill rig guys.
well, I'm gonna be there, KR. So I want to put this out because I think I'm showing up with Andy, and Andy's bringing his delightful camera equipment, which is better than ours. I'm going to stream a bunch. You're going to see like a whole bunch of small videos posted up over the weekend next weekend because I'm going to Kansas City and I'm planning on playing with those guys with the 2K and all the big demos they're doing. I'm trying to be part of all that, so I will get as many rules as I possibly can from them. I will also push drinks on the GW staff so much so I can get as much as possible from them, because you know what's good to talk rules when someone's wasted. So that's what we're trying to.
I mean, just tell viewers, like, if all content creators already have the rules,
100%.
Correct.
right? And this is a content creation show, right? Death or Glory is a content creation show. So if you want to know more, I don't know what we're allowed to release when we get rules or what they're allowed to release when they get rules. I'm not speaking for them, but follow the show, subscribe.
Right.
Yeah, we're very close.
The more people who subscribe, the more people who like and share the channel, the more likely we are to be recognized by GW to share those rules with you guys. And we're almost there.
Yeah, I'm gonna watch the. We're gonna look at. I want to take part in some of those with the GW streams that Mike's doing, but I want to actually really get give a quarter in the jar from Steve Joe. But I'm gonna do a deep dive on the rules and the interactions and stuff like that, because those are the real big things. Is the big changes are easy to do. It's all the small changes, the consolidates, the pile-ins, the how things work. You know, with your interactions. Those are the tough things to go from one edition to the next, because you're so used to doing things a certain way. And then you accidentally think, oh yeah, that this is the same rule. It has the same name. I think I'm going to be doing this, but then you actually don't, because it's slightly worded different, and it makes a big deal on that. So I'm going to try to bring all that stuff to you.
Are you guys a little surprised that we didn't see anything about Magnus?
No, because they haven't showed any of the big boys.
Showed Angron.
Oh, that's true. I lied. We did see it, right?
They got Angron, Be'lakor, Keeper of Secrets.
We came out swinging with those, and then after that, we haven't seen any big boys. We didn't see Morty.
You can't show Magnus if you're not going to show Morty. That's just against the rules.
So how many psychic powers do you think that guy has?
That's what I want to know. I want to know, is he Cabal 5, Cabal 6?
I don't think about it, though, because Be'lakor and the Keeper of Secrets both had 3 different things they can do a turn for 18 shots. So
Magnus might be gross.
Yeah.
And also he'll probably be able to hide, because we can hide all those things now these days.
So
like Angron is hideable.
Yeah, I think those things are not playable. Angron become a billion times more playable because he can just hide. What do we have left, Brandon? You got it written down.
Yeah, we have Dark Eldar, we have Gene Stealer Cult, Grey Knights, which is tomorrow, Imperial Agents, and Space Marine chapters, if they decide to do those.
I hope so. I'd like to talk about the wolves.
The wolves.
I want to talk about like the Evasaur Assassin and some Inquisitors. I want them to actually get good rules.
You would want that.
Yeah, I was just about to say, of course you do.
I have 12 assassins in my cabinet behind me right now. I want to put 12 assassins on the
Brandon's
table.
like, I really like the hipster bar down the corner from like the project.
I swear to God.
Where they're selling Milkadoo milkshakes, and they're amazing.
They also have really good tacos.
I am going to the wall again. Zoobs is calling me out because he wants to be beaten with a stick. I'm going to buy some beef jerky and some cotton candy, and I'm going to beat you with a dual wielding attack with both. He goes, hey, Brad, tell us your thoughts on Demon and Thousand Suns psychic previews versus the Eldar. Screw you.
So what's the final grade? We give him an A for Aramon?
Yeah, I'm at an A right now, but I'm easily like
I could go
when the rules come out, I can easily get to an S, but I'm at an A for now.
I could say I agree on that, because I think that they're for sure an A, but we haven't seen any of the other damage dealing units. But the thing is, we know we can do allies, because in my mind, I'm just going to go 3 Knights and Thousands, 500 points of Knights and Thousand Suns, and just slam down Twist of Fate on people, and that's just disgusting. And that by itself is an A.
Right. It was brought up that the last paragraph before the Black Library section talks about what Magnus does. Did you want to touch on that paragraph?
Yeah, I'm gonna read. Hooked on Phonics worked for me. Hold on, I'm scrolling.
I think they just say that he's like the most potent thing in the game or something like that.
All right, I gotta find this now. I feel like you're.
I don't know how much detail they give though.
Because they talk about in the paragraph before that Cabal of Sorcerers also lets you gain extra movement and use teleportation, which is a really good thing.
Yeah,
right?
That'll be huge on that.
Yeah.
It also says that he is one of the most potent single profiles in the game. And he also has choice of auras that allowed him to boost their mobility and offensive prowess. Oh man, this is, I think, I would love to put my Magnus on the board. I love that.
He's gonna have like a Lord Invocatus ability.
Well, it's he was saying that he's buffing up their powers, so like you're gonna have people like have better psychic damage and stuff like that.
Or he's choosing movement or the other one. So like turn 1 you're going movement, turn 2 you're switching.
I love the fact that they're making a lot of these characters super viable. You can hide them. They buff other units. I like that a lot.
Yeah, it's like a crazy idea. I don't know where they got it from. I mean, I haven't seen anything like that except for Age of Sigmar for like the last 6 years, but it's cool. I'm glad that 40K.
Where did that come? Where did that come from?
Glad they started. I'm glad they learned something. I don't know.
I love that this edition has literally been Age of Sigmar rules and 6th edition rules.
Yes. Like I've got Age of Sigmar and 6th edition. 10th edition.
But no
So
templates.
strange.
No template. No.
Techless is awesome.
Techless.
Techless is super cool.
I mean,
unless Lord Croak is on the table,
I mean,
then Techless.
I mean,
Techless is shit.
Techless legitimately cast his powers so well, he became a god in the next edition of the game. He leveled up.
Can Magnus get abilities like Techless where he's just like literally, I just do these things, I stop a psychic power or psychic ability for free?
Well, this edition's kind of going that way, right? Like Magnus is just gonna have like 18 shots, so his power just goes off.
Do I have did I save the blow your mind? Because you know what came out today, Brandon? Bolt gun.
Actually, it came out on the 23rd. It's
blow your mind.
Bolt gun looks hilarious. Do you know a funny story from Bolt gun?
Hit me.
The company that made it, like the video game company that made it, the last video game they made was a beer making video game, like a virtual reality beer making game. And I was thinking, wow, if you Venn diagram that, like those are the exact same people. Like the people who like Bolt Gun and the people who brew their own beer, those are the same fucking people. So it's like perfect. It's like literally perfect.
That's amazing.
You know what?
2-bit graphics and all.
I love it.
I'm ready for Bolt Gun though.
You know what's cool?
I'm gonna download it.
Bolt Gun's so cool because they didn't even waste their time on a story. They were like, what are we calling this game? Bolt Gun. It's like if like Halo was called like Assault Rifle.
Dude, the ad for it is so amazing because it's just them showing the bad graphics and going, "This game will blow your mind."
So good. Like imagine Doom. Doom's called Boomstick.
I mean, it kind of is. All of the things. I do wonder. We asked in the chat. Do you think Techless? Do you think Aramon and Disc will be a different data sheet since his disc isn't listed as a war gear on his sheet?
I actually think this is better.
You know, I'm saying, but like, are you going to have both options? Because he's literally had both options for forever. You know what I mean?
I imagine it'll come with the option and he'll just have a war gear option for it. But I think at this point, you just attach him to some Terminators and you put.
I mean, his ability is just so good. And +1 to wound. +1 to wound is nuts. I played. One of the things that made me play Salamanders is the strat. If he just has this built in, that's nuts.
Yep.
They may not let him use the disc as it is now just because they want to keep movement profiles the same.
The only
if he's joining Terminators and infantry.
Man, people are going to have to buy another RN model.
Well, no, you just keep him on the disc. You just attach to the unit and you can't 12.
By the way, John just came up with the most accurate analogy of all time. GW is the Apple of the gaming world. They keep giving us back stuff we once had or stuff that their competition has done for years, and we love them for it.
Yeah.
Woo!
That's all they do. Every game GW's ever made has been like it's literally a wallpaper version of another game.
Yes. And so much.
There's nothing. Crazy.
I'm pretty pumped about this one, guys. Is this an army that you think you get behind? I mean, Alan obviously is going to put down Vortex Beast, whether it's good or not. But like,
Vortex Beast, I might ally in Vortex Beasts into other armies.
and they're going to be into Imperium armies. It's just going to be Alan. Yeah. You know, not even Imperium, just straight up like an Eldar army and 3 Vortex Beasts. You're like, what?
No, Crawley was talking shit. I'm going to bring my Custodes army with Vortex Beasts in it.
I'll tell you what, I'm going to bring my 1,000 Sons with tanks.
Man, congratulations on your 3-2 performance at the GT.
Hey, I went 5-3 or something at LVO with 1,000 Sons. Okay.
Whatever.
All right, so let's talk about reveals tomorrow. So tomorrow we have the beginning of Rocky Top and Motor City Mayhem.
Yep.
So we will not be covering Gray Knights. We're going to wait till Monday.
Unless I hack the account.
It's just that you getting past
rogue show.
Getting past the Brad security, unbelievable, inconceivable.
I feel like it's a text message. I go, "Hey Brad, give me the key. I'm going to talk about how awesome you are."
Well, the best part,
Magnus's way in.
Brad's like, "You're going to talk about how awesome I am. Here you go. Here's the key." I just
the
have a whole
best part about it
podcast.
is Brad doesn't know how to log in. So
Brad is best. Brad is best.
I like this. Keep going.
That's how the best security in the world works, man. If Brad doesn't know how to get in, he can't help us.
That's
I'll
how you
record it, Brad. I'll record it as one of my buttons. It'll just literally play the entire time.
I do like I really like this army. This is one of the most interesting armies I've seen. This and demons feel like you can really use player skill and do some serious shenanigans.
You can tell that they're trying to re-embody the differences of the factions, but doing it in a way that's less convoluted, right? Every chaos reveal that we've seen so far has felt chaosy, right? Mm-hmm. Chaos have weirder, more abstract rules.
Yeah.
Whereas like the Imperium stuff has just been raw power, just in your face, right?
And I did like that orcs became orcs. That sounded good too. I really like them. I mean, for the most part, the reveals have been pretty spot on. For the majority, not everyone. I've been disappointed. I'll be disappointed again.
Yeah, I think there's only a couple that I was disappointed in, but I think overall they're pretty good.
Legit. I really like this one. I think we've had some really good I think both Knights were super good. It's like very fun. I think the Thousand Suns felt really fun. I think the Tau and overall rules are bonkers town.
That's a word that's awesome and like not often used, that 3-letter word with 9th edition. So I'm really excited for 10th. Fun, like
fun.
There's nothing fun about 9th. It's just
armies don't feel as thematic in 9th. If that's weird thing to say. You know what I mean?
Don't you put that evil on me, Ricky Bobby?
I'm sorry, you're right. Show me more about your 5-man squads with
tell us more about your min-max units of Space Wolves with free war gear.
All that theme that you've got in
I would never try to break
why
an
are
army.
Vikings getting so many melta-guns? I don't understand.
Look, man, they found them. Somebody left a crate of melted guns in the Space Wolves.
You don't get it, Alan. It's cold. It's cold up there in Space Wolf land. They use the melta-guns next to the fire. Keeps them warm.
How did you start a fire? I start one with melta.
I started with a flint and a knife.
Imagine that he actually dropped his suppressors from his list for some reason? What a crazy man.
Ooh, that's a good question, everybody. What Zeus put this on? This is what I'm going to end with.
You didn't have suppressors. You have suppressors now?
I fucking goddamn do not have any. Screw you, bro.
Why would you take suppressors? Suppressors are terrible.
I
know. I'm still memeing because he had them in his list at charity.
And they're so non-thematic, even more so than your.
I know. What kind of a Space Wolves player brings suppressors?
You know what?
Space Wolves never suppress. They march forward.
Screw you, Sam Dayton.
That's a Brandon move. That's what Brandon does. Brandon brings suppressors. He talks about how great they are. Turn 1. He's like, "Oh, I have suppressors, by the way. You know what they do, right?"
I'm in bad.
They're really good.
They're good.
Yeah,
they still don't. They're not even on bases. I've never used them in a game before, but they're fantastic.
I'm going to go around the horn here, and I'm going to ask you guys. I'm stealing Zoob's question and pretending it's mine, just like I.
Where's the horn?
It's the whole thing. Watch ESPN more. But what preview made you want to play the army? Just from the preview, the reveal. You can go 2 of them. I don't really care. I'll start with Brandon. We're going Brandon, Crawley, Allen.
I think demons. I would do demons and Space Marines. Space Marines just because I own them already, but I got excited about all the stuff they've been showing off.
You picking demons is weird. Why would you pick demons? You don't like demons. You're always Imperial.
I think he's just trying to spite you. He's like, what would Alan pick? Fuck you.
Well, Alan, the cool part is you could pick the army too. Fine, I'll pick Tau. Because I'm really excited to play Tau, even though they showed Pathfinders as their unit focus.
Yeah, but their army rule is Bonkers Town, though. The Kayan and Greater Good were badass.
I want to see Crisis Suits. That's what I want to see.
Okay.
I want to see Riptides get better again for Tau. I wish Riptides were good.
They still are fantastic. They're really good now.
I like Riptides.
How much better are they going to get? You're like, I want every weapon to have devastating wounds, anti-infantry, and anti-mech too. So,
I mean, is that a lot to ask? I don't know.
God, all I wanted was some goddamn sharks with laser beams on their heads.
We still have that right here.
All right, Crawley,
Yeah.
what reveal made you want to play the army?
Imperial Knights. I've been actually painting Imperial Knights because I'm so excited.
Is that with or without the warp beasts?
With Warp Beasts.
Nice.
Of course, with
Nice.
Warp Beasts.
And then secondarily, Tau, because my 3 Storm Surges are going to see the table at the beginning of this edition. And it's probably going to be bad, but it's going to be fun.
But they'll hit on 2s, so you're good.
And though they still they've always had the chink the things in the ground. So if they get rerolls, and then I get Cao Yun across the table, sorry, I can only be so excited.
Yeah, your 3 storm surges are going to look at my whole army hiding behind buildings.
You know what,
why did I bring all this?
Good thing they have smart missiles.
They're just going to be
Because
like
I still get to
NPC.
Overwatch.
They're just going to be like they're literally going to be NPCs in MMORPGs. What's going on around here? Something's happening. So, the Alan, what armies are from the reveal itself have made you psyched up for?
Would I know of an army outside the reveal? I wouldn't know. So,
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
world eaters by far. World eaters look so much fun. Like they have a mini game in the game. There's like you're like playing Yahtzee while you're playing 40K. You're like doubling up, tripling up, using your abilities. All of their abilities look great. Their whole blood tithe table looks phenomenal.
And you auto get a couple of them.
Yeah, they're so good. Berserkers look great. I think they look fine. I think the idea that rhinos might be back in the game is huge for them. Transports might be back in the game in some ways, huge for them. Angron looks awesome. You could play him. You can actually just play him. I mean, he's a viable. He's no longer like the fun list. He's actually fun and he's competitive. So I think World Eaters seem really, really cool to me and super fun. So.
Well, we all know Brad's answer is Eldar because Brad was so impressed by that Eldar release.
He's so
Screw
excited.
you. They're probably the best part is they'll probably
Eldar is definitely going to be a much better than Brad thinks. He's just mad that like they revealed
nothing except the reveal. Yes, I probably.
No, they told you about like Stan and his best friend who lives in the basement.
Yeah,
you know, like,
it felt like they sent out the kid that your mom told you have to play.
Oh,
with.
and he is so triggered about the fire prism. Let me tell you, he hates fire prisms in general
so much.
So the fact that was the tank, like if it was a falcon, a viper, a wave serpent,
that would have
hornet,
been so good.
Like anything, it could have been a fucking hemlock, like anything, he would have been happy about. And you show him a warp. Oh my god.
He would have been more tilted if it was a hemlock because his hatred of flyers exceeds his hatred of.
True, I do hate the prisms a lot.
I don't know. I think fire prisms might be the only thing he hates more because he literally, I've seen him like rant in like 7th, 8th, 9th, every edition about how dumb it is to like take a tank to shoot a second tank a second time with like twin linking things. He hates it.
I'm going to bring for the 10th edition launch party a list that's going to have 3 hemlocks and 3 fire prisms.
What you should do, Crowley,
I
is
will
this.
make you leave.
No, Crowley, you should find a 3-round event where you can logically win and miss Brad, but win it with the fire prisms. Like show up with just the fire prisms, don't play Brad, but win the whole event. You know how you do it? Just get hundreds.
Yeah.
Because he can't do that. So you'll skip him and you'll just play people like Bill Kim and like Tom
I think
Ogden.
the chat agrees with this being a great idea.
Oh, Jesus. You know what? I'm literally going to play some Thousand Suns if I can put my Magnus on the board. My Magnus is covered in like 3 inches of dust. It looks like you're going in an archaeological dig. It hasn't been moved.
Kind of thematic. You shouldn't repaint him. Leave him like that.
Damn zombies go burr.
And what's your second army, Brad, besides Eldar?
I always play Eldar, so just put that in there. I actually think that Tau is going to be nuts. I think MSU Tau is going to be crazy because right now people are looking at because that rapid aggress strat is bonkers town and you have to be ready for it, which means you need shit to just make it so people can't strike next to you.
Yeah.
And if you play that, plus you're going to want things that guide, you know what I mean? So you're going to want to guide things and you're going to have to be out there. So I'm super excited for that. I think it's going to be a really cool mechanic. It's going to be, basically weighing the pros and cons of moving things out versus, sacrificing units opposed to damaging and whatnot. It's going to make it a very moving, shooting, making a lot of decisions that affect the game. Sounds like a really fun army to play.
Yeah.
That's all I have to say about the war in Vietnam.
All right. Well, on that note, we'll call it there. So we'll see you guys on Monday when we talk about Grey Knights and whatever's released on Monday. And Brad, good luck this weekend. Steven, I'll see you later. But good luck as well. Alan, have fun painting.
Yeah. And on that,
He's got this.
deuces.